Ball State University is expected to rise again. Good evening, it's 9:30. I'm Josh Witzman.
And I'm Amy Barnett. NewsCenter reporter Amy Weeker finds out what this means for current Ball State students.
Ball State University Office of Admissions.
The Office of Admissions is receiving numerous calls these days as university enrollment is expected to rise next fall.
We think it'll be somewhere around 18,000 to 18,200 or so.
This increase is part of an ongoing trend that began in 1999 when the number of students reached 17,459. Admissions leaped to 17,490 during the 2000-2001 academic year and was followed by this year's jump to 17,662. Vice President of Student Affairs Douglas McConkey states several possibilities for the expansion.
We have done a lot of marketing and communication and advertising, I'm sure, has helped at least a little bit. We know that raising the admission standards had an impact on particularly Indiana and surrounding states.
Prospective students are interested in Ball State for a variety of reasons.
I like the campus atmosphere. It seems like a fun campus to be on.
It seems to really have a personal contact with the students, and it's not too big, but it's not too small.
I've heard a lot about it, and just from what I've seen, I really liked it.
Some fear that the growing number of students could make class sizes unreasonable, but McConkey says the university is prepared.
I think we're going to be on top of that. We're already making decisions now to find the faculty to teach in the fall.
Incoming students must confirm their intent to enroll by May 1st, which will give the university a solid estimate by early this summer. I'm Amy Weeker reporting for NewsCenter 43.
Muncie police officer Keith Peckham is on administrative leave after he was stopped for drunk driving on March 16th. In January, police were called to an elementary school after Peckham allegedly became angry after he was asked why his children were late to school. And last year, he received a warning for reporting to work with purple hair. Next week, Deputy Police Chief James Peters will recommend what action should be taken against Peckham.
The city of Muncie will make improvements to streets located on the Ball State University campus. The Riverside-McKinley intersection and the McKinley-Neely intersection will have additional turn lanes. The city says the traffic will be able to move through the intersections more efficiently. Also from this project, there will be new sidewalks, street lights, traffic signals, and storm sewers. If you're interested in discussing your opinions on the proposed project, there will be a public hearing meeting that will take place April 24th at 6:30 in the evening at the Muncie City Hall. Well, taking a break from news now, Milan Willie joins us with weather.
Milan, the weather is gradually getting better each day.
Getting warmer. It's going to continue to get warmer, and a good weekend in store for us for Easter. But for tonight, it's going to be cloudy out there with a temperature of 37 degrees, and our winds will be southwest at 5 miles per hour. But I'll have your complete forecast in a few.
All right, Milan, we'll check back with you in a second. Lake County police are investigating the shooting death of a young Gary man by one of their own. According to police, 21-year-old Brandon Haywood approached the officer with a liquor bottle in each hand. He was shot to death after he ignored orders to stop. Police Chief Rich Arnold calls the shooting unfortunate but justified. Officer Brad Schrader has been on the Lake Station force for about 18 months. The victim, Brandon Haywood, was pronounced dead at the scene.
Indiana will receive a federal grant to prepare for possible bioterrorism attacks. Senator Evan Bayh says the state will receive $2.6 million to prepare its hospitals for such attacks. The grant is part of a nationwide attack preparation effort. Bayh says Indiana's money will go directly to its hospitals, which are more knowledgeable about the strengths and weaknesses of the state's capabilities. The senator says state needs to submit plans for handling bioterrorism before receiving the grant money.
A police mishap points the finger at the wrong woman. Valparaiso police admit the photographs they handed out of a suspect in an ATM theft were actually photos of an innocent bank customer. Several people notified police after they saw the pictures in a local newspaper, many telling cops the woman was not capable of such a crime. When law enforcement checked with the bank, it was discovered that the surveillance photos did not coincide with the illegal draws made from the ATM. The Valparaiso police chief has apologized to the woman who was vacationing in Florida at the time. Bank officials are not commenting.
State officials have decided to allow the struggling accounting firm Arthur Andersen to proceed with Lake County property reassessment despite the wishes of county officials. The county asked Governor Frank O'Bannon to cancel the firm's contract due to questions about its survival after the Enron collapse. However, the state says the contract will continue because canceling it would delay a court-imposed deadline. The Indiana Tax Court has ordered officials to complete reassessment in time for revised tax bills to be sent out early 2003. County officials are refusing to pay any of Arthur Andersen's initial bills, which so far amount to $5 million.
From our partners at the Ball State Daily News, here are tomorrow's headlines tonight. Read about the 80th anniversary of the Daily News. They're also going to take a look at the latest in Governor Frank O'Bannon's budget cuts. Plus, find out when Ball State will take its fall break next year. You can read all that and more in tomorrow's edition of the Ball State Daily News.
That's right. Well, coming up new at 9:30, we'll tell you what the Arab Summit had to say on possible American military actions against Iraq.
Also, find out what caused a disturbance on a passenger jet in Boston. East Central Indiana's only live local newscast continues.
One Navy SEAL was killed and another wounded when one of the two stepped on a landmine near the U.S. military base at Kandahar Airport. The explosion happened Wednesday night in a remote area known as Tarnak Farms, which has been used as an al-Qaeda training camp. The dead man has been identified as Chief Petty Officer Matthew J. Bourgeois. The 35-year-old from Tallahassee was serving as a hospital corpsman. He became the 31st U.S. military death in the war. He leaves behind a wife and a 7-month-old son.
The Arab League Summit final declaration today rejects any attack on Iraq. The adoption of the statement came after Iraqi presidential envoy Izzat Ibrahim told the summit that Iraq recognizes the sovereignty of Kuwait and will never invade the nation again.
That's right. At one point during the session, Ibrahim embraced Saudi Crown Prince Abdullah and agreed the head of the Kuwait delegation. Jane Araf has more.
It was broadcast on Baghdad radio, beamed on Iraqi TV. After so many years of public reconciliation between the Saudi Crown Prince and President Saddam Hussein's right-hand man, Iraqis on the roller coaster of the last decade have learned to take most developments in stride. Some barely looked up from their game of dominoes. But for others, the news provided a bit of welcome relief from worry of a U.S.-led attack.
We're overjoyed at this reconciliation between us and Saudi Arabia. We ask God to reconcile between all, us and Saudi Arabia and Kuwait.
The Iraqi broadcast focused on the warmer atmosphere with neighboring Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. The Iraqi media didn't tell people that Iraq had put in writing that it wouldn't threaten Kuwait, nor that it did not publicly oppose a Saudi plan that would make peace with Israel. In the street, Iraqis generally say what they believe is their government's official line. But some still hadn't received the leadership's new, more conciliatory message.
I hope for my God, all Arabs succeed. And we kill all Israel and America.
In these streets, people have been set back decades by Iraq's 1990 invasion of Kuwait. Iraqis have traditionally been taught that Kuwait is historically a part of Iraq. But what almost all Iraqis seem to want, given the choice, much more than territory, is a chance at normal life. Jane Araf, CNN, Baghdad.
Police in Boston arrested a man on a plane about to take off from Logan International Airport this afternoon. 49-year-old Richard Lamberson reportedly said that he had top-secret information and that people could be killed. The crew became alarmed and the plane taxied back to the gate. Within minutes, Lamberson was taken into custody. Officials say the incident does not appear to be related to terrorism. And 4 people were rescued from their plane after it made a splash landing today. The restored Boeing 307 Stratoliner went down in Seattle's Elliott Bay. The 4 were in satisfactory condition at Harborview Medical Center. The plane is owned by the National Air and Space Museum.
Ohio State Police are investigating a crash near the town of Mansfield today. A half-dozen people, including 2 police officers, were taken from the crash scene to a nearby hospital after it was thought their injuries were life-threatening. According to police, the troopers were stopped along the northbound lanes of I-71 investigating an accident. That's when the troopers' car was hit from behind by a northbound vehicle. The occupants of that vehicle, the troopers, and those involved in the original accident were all injured. Their conditions are not known at this hour. And Milan's going to join us one more time with weather.
What do you have for us?
I have that weather question for you as we
good.
have our graphic coming up here. What type of cloud is associated with rain? We have the nimbostratus, the cumulus, the stratus, and the cirrostratus. Which one do you think it is? I'll have the complete answer and the rest of the forecast right after the break. We are gradually starting to warm up outside. As we see, our high today got up to 45 degrees. Our normal high is at 47, so we are just about where we should be for this time of year. Our low this morning was at 24, and our normal low was at 30 degrees. Now, as we take a look at our highs coming up here, we see that South Bend got up to 44, Fort Wayne 41, Muncie and Lafayette 45, and look at Evansville down there got up to 58 degrees. All of that is just melting our snow outside. But currently for us right now, it's currently 43 degrees with winds south at 9 miles per hour. Now, as we take a look at our satellite here, we see we have a lot of cloud cover to the northern parts of the states. And as we zoom into our area here, we see we have a lot of cloud cover in our area because we are under that cloudy skies for tonight. Now, as we take a look at that rain that was in our area, we see how it moved over east and out of our area. And as we zoom in, we're going to see that we still have some rain left in our area, but that's to the southern part of the Indiana, and that will be soon moving out to the east and will not be affecting us. Our next chance for rain comes tomorrow afternoon. Now, as we take a look at why we're actually getting that rain out there today, we see that we have this jet stream that was pushing this cold front into our area, and as we have this warm air pushing up into this cold front, that's why we got this rain sparking along this cold front for today. So those scattered showers that we saw today, this is why we were seeing them. As we take a look at that cold front, we see how it's moved out of our area and will continue to move out of our area for tonight, leaving us clear for tonight. But again, like I said, tomorrow we will get some rain in here tomorrow afternoon leading into tomorrow night. But that will be some light rain. Now, as we see our lows for tonight, we see that we'll be experiencing some 30s. And as you move more south, some 40s and 50s. But for us, 30s for our lows for tonight. We see that temperature 37 degrees. And it will be cloudy out there with our winds west at 12 miles per hour. Now, tomorrow morning when you wake up, it'll be partly cloudy. So we will see some sun out there with a temperature of 42 degrees, and our winds again will be southwest at 17 miles per hour. Now, as we take a look at our highs, we see that the northern part of Indiana will be in the 50s, and as you move more south, they'll be experiencing some 60s, so quite a beautiful day tomorrow. If we just do not get that rain in there, it will be nice. And tomorrow we see that partly cloudy skies I was telling you about with a high of 57 degrees, and our winds are west at 12 miles per hour. Now, for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, look at that, no rain in our forecast. We gradually start to warm up, and by Sunday for Easter, just a beautiful day out there. Now, we will have cloudy skies, but at least we won't have that rain.
Oh,
and then our question,
Easter
what you guys think?
I think it's A.
I think it's D.
You're right, Josh.
Oh!
Yes, it's a low-level cloud, and that does produce some mid to upper rain. So.
All right, so I'm leading the question.
You're leading.
Here.
Oh,
I'm winning.
Okay, can't wait till next week to get another question.
Tom
Thanks.
joins us with sports.
Yeah, guys, not a lot going on today. We do have some volleyball action for you, and the NIT is wrapping up, so we'll have all that and more when NewsCenter 43 Sports returns.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. And after beginning the season with one of the best starts in school history at 14-1, the men's volleyball squad has only managed one W in the past 6 tries. But at 15-6, it's still good enough for 10th in the nation. And at 9-1 overall in conference play, they trail Lewis by just a half game heading into tonight's match against Clarke. And the Cardinals had no trouble welcoming themselves back to Worthen Arena with a clean sweep of Clarke, 30-17, 30-19, and 30-20. Yari Delgado led the Cardinal attack with 10 kills. Ball State improves to 16-6 on the year and reclaims the conference lead with the victory. The Cards use tonight as their tune-up for their big match Saturday against Ohio State right here at Worthen Arena. First serve is at 7 o'clock. And less than 2 weeks removed from making Mid-American Conference history by leading Kent State to the Elite Eight, Stan Heath resigned his head coaching job with the Flashes to head to Hog Country. Just this afternoon, Heath accepted the head coaching job at the University of Arkansas, which was vacated by Nolan Richardson less than a month ago. But Stan is no stranger to the spotlight. Before coming to Kent State, Heath was an assistant under Tom Izzo at Michigan State. There he helped lead the Spartans to 4 straight Big Ten titles, 3 straight Final Fours, and the national title in 2000. Then this year, not only in his first season at Kent, but his first Division I head coaching job, he only broke 3 school records and 3 conference records thanks to 30 wins, 21 of them in a row, and 17 in the MAC. And oh yeah, don't forget about MAC Coach of the Year honors as well. With the 3rd and 4th place decided, South Carolina, after Temple won the 3rd place in the NIT, South Carolina and Memphis are battling over the other national championship in the nightcap at the Garden. And as expected, neither team is really giving in, but it's early. Right now, Syracuse is leading South Carolina is trailing 35-29 at halftime. The Gamecocks do have one of the best defenses in the country, so this game should be fairly low scoring. And okay, on to the other Final Four. So the Hoosiers are back there for the first time in 10 years. So what? Who really cares? Do they really deserve to be there anyway? While the doubters do exist, and they're obviously not from Indiana, a lot will depend on which team shows up against Oklahoma if IU wants to prove itself worthy of another national title. Remember, the Hoosiers shot a crazy 15 of 19 from behind the arc against Kent State, but this was the same team that won 1 of 15 from Treyville against Miami and then knocked down 17 trifectas to embarrass Illinois earlier this season. Which Indiana team will show up in this national semifinal? They won't be a contender without Tom Coverdale.
That's our leader and just one of our fiercest competitors. If we lose our rotation right now, it's drastic. You don't replace people this time of year.
I'm just going to do anything I can to play in this game because this is the type of game you dream about playing in, and to be able to be in the Final Four, and if I had to sit there and watch and just sit on the bench and watch it, it'd be too painful. So, I'm doing everything I can to be able to play.
We fully expect Big Red to be ready to go. Not necessarily 100% by any means, but he's our main guy. He's been a key this whole season, and I think it'd make it a lot more difficult to beat Oklahoma without Tom.
Yes.
With or without Tom, the Hoosiers and the Sooners tip it up Saturday at 6:07 for the right to play for the national title in Atlanta.
Well, go Hoosiers.
Yeah, well, go Sooners in my book. I am not an IU fan in the slightest.
So Tom might have to
I got it Oklahoma by 10.
I say Indiana by 3.
Might have to watch your back on the way home. No, I don't bet basketball.
Okay, thanks. Well, can you imagine turning over 2 million miles on your car?
One man did. We'll have his story after the break.
For a last look at our weather for tonight, it's going to be cloudy out there with a temperature of 37 degrees. And for tomorrow, it's going to be partly cloudy with those possible showers coming in mid-afternoon with a high of 57. And for your 3-day, look at that, 46 on Saturday, 42 on Sunday, and 57 on Monday.
Okay,
right,
great.
thanks.
Easter egg hunt. Yeah. Good weather. Okay. Well, do you enjoy watching a line of zeros appear on your odometer?
Just imagine for a moment seeing a 2 with 6 zeros. CNN's Jeannie Most shows us the 2 million mile man.
It's enough to give a regular car odometer envy. Arriving in Times Square, Irv Gordon's Volvo posted nothing but zeros for the 20th time, which means Irv has become
The 2 million mile man!
The Long Island, New York resident bought his Volvo for about $4,000 in 1966, the same year The Sound of Music won Best Picture, the year Star Trek debuted on TV.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
just as Irv has gone boldly into the Guinness Book. So how do you put 2 million miles on one car? Irv calls it an accident.
I enjoyed driving it. I still enjoy driving it. So 36 years later, I'm still driving the same car. And it just, the miles just add up.
Especially when you're crazy about driving. This retired science teacher has toured 48 states in his Volvo, not to mention Canada, Mexico, and Europe.
It's like having a movie picture run in front of your eyes all the time, and it just keeps changing.
You could practically eat off Irv's engine. All these years, he's been servicing the car at the same Long Island dealership where he bought it.
He's a fanatic, yes.
The Volvo still has its original engine, though it has been rebuilt. You can't drive all those miles.
The first million was a little tense here and there.
Without having a few accidents. Once at a rest stop at night, a tractor-trailer backed up, hooked Irv's bumper, and took off down the interstate, not realizing the Volvo was in tow.
He was going down a road, and I'm banging away.
Eventually, a bump caused the bumpers to unhook.
I wound up a couple of feet from the edge of the road, right over the Delaware Water Gap, looking straight down.
As Irv approached the 2 million mark,
27 miles to go!
The Volvo folks started having his car towed around so he wouldn't go over the momentous milestone with no cameras to capture it. Irv does have a few rules about his car. No eating in it, no smoking.
And I certainly don't let anybody drive my car. Only me.
So hands off, valet parkers.
Most people today don't know what a choke is.
The folks at Volvo were so choked up over all the free publicity, they gave Irv a brand new Volvo. He even got to see his head roll across Times Square. The next time you glance at your measly, pathetic odometer reading, reflect on the man who truly deserves to blow his own horn.
On the road again.
Jeannie Moe, CNN, New York.
Wow, 2 million miles. Must be a good car.
30,000 and I freak out.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us for NewsCenter at 9:30. I'm Josh Woodsman.
And I'm Amy Barnett. NewsCenter 43 is an official CNN student bureau. Be sure to tune in Monday for NewsCenter at 5:30. Have a wonderful Easter week.